Well, hello there, everyone. It is I, Plagen, and today we're going to be playing Kenshi. Now, I know I've streamed this before. I'm not sure if I have any videos on the channel about it, but Kenshi is basically my favorite game. One of the favorites, anyway. And it's usually always on sale if you want to check it out. Anytime a sale hits, it's usually on sale. It's very cheap anyway, but oh my god, get it, y'all. It's a great sandbox RPG, like adventure thing. You can do so much in it if you've never played it, never seen it played before. Highly recommend it. Anyway, I felt like playing it again. We're doing it. But first, there are some mods that I have installed. These are all the active mods here. I'm not going to read through them all. And kind of go from there. I'm just gonna do this. You can pause the video or anything if you want, and then note down which ones are here, and we'll just kind of go from there, essentially. So, yeah, the only one that I would honestly recommend, like you absolutely need, is going to be, where is it at? Immersive Flies Muted. This one is so important for just a good experience that you have to have it. Anyone who's played Kenshi knows how annoying the flies around dead bodies can get. You need that mod, or else you're going to be driven insane after you fight off a raid or kill enemies or anything. It's just so bad. But anyway, this is Kenshi. Now, for those of you who have never seen Kenshi before, there is a lot of starts you can have. So you can read through this stuff. It'll say like what difficulty you have. So it'll kind of put you in random places. Some give you different gear. Some give you different characters to play with. All that sort of stuff. You can see here we can choose Wanderer, a Wandering Trader with like a pack animal and a backpack full of goods. Holy Sword, where we're a criminal who stole a legendary sword at the start, but now everyone kind of hates us for it and we're wanted. We can be a Cannibal Hunter, which is meaning we're going to be attacked immediately upon playing, which is a very hard start. This one is the Hive Exile, where we're a hiver who's been exiled from the Queen, sent out with no food or anything, and we're just really weak and stuff to begin with. This one is we're Son of the Captain. This one's a pretty normal one. We are penniless and whatnot, but we have a katana and a shirt, and we're actually supplied with gear. There's also being a slave, which is we're just a slave in a holy kingdom, and we're forced to work for them. Very hard start. And then there's Rock Bottom, which is we're alone, naked, hungry, lost in the middle of a desert teeming with slavers, and we just lost an arm. Very nice. And then this is a test one, but and then there's an Empire Citizen, which is actually some of these might be added by mods, but whatever. Which is us being part of the United Cities and stuff like that, of us needing to find port. Holy Nation is a group of slavers, a slave nation essentially, and being a member of that. And then we're just a guy with a dog, a drifter with a pupper, and we need to feed the dog and everything. And there's Freedom Seekers, who are just kind of a group of 5 people who gathered to do stuff. So it's not just one character you're controlling, you can control multiple and all that. And then there's Skeletons, which is a huge thing here, which is you having a bunch of skeleton guys. The Nobodies, there's 5 Nobodies with nothing to their name. Wanderer, we're back to everything, right? So for this one, we're going to be a slave. And the idea for this playthrough here that I'm doing is we're going to start out as a slave. And then we're going to go and essentially get up in the world. We're going to escape from slavery, work our way to surviving, getting gear, maybe getting a little settlement going. And once we're able to somewhat fend for ourselves, the plan is to join the Holy Empire and become a slaver ourselves. So from slave to slaver. And anyone who's played Kenshi knows once you have a base, people start coming to like harass you and try to kidnap you and all this stuff, or destroy your base, take your stuff, and you can defeat them. And with a mod that I have, which allows me to basically make anyone into a prisoner and then a member of my team, we can then take those people and then sell them to the Holy Nation as slaves to earn an income. So that'll be kind of the plan for us here, and going from there. So let's look at the advanced options. Some of this stuff I like to change just a little bit here, like the research speed will bump up to 2. Can I just type it in? I think, yeah. It's been a minute since I played Kenshi here, but... Darn it. No. There we go. Okay. That's just max. Never mind. These advanced settings affect some different stuff. So we have chance of getting death, which higher means you're more likely to die. There's, hunger time, which means higher number means it takes longer to get hungry. Therefore needing less food to survive. Global damage, production speed, which we're going to bump up a little bit. Actually, let's bump this down. I don't need it to be that quick for research. Do that. Building speed, we'll up that a little bit, just because it's a little tedious. Number of nests for like animals and bandits that happen around in the world. Let's go ahead and bump that up to 2. At least around 2. There we go. And then bandits will loot the player, which means if there's bandits around and we get defeated by them, they'll loot our body and take our stuff. That's what we're doing. And easy prospecting, which doesn't really tell me what it does, unfortunately, but that's fine. So those are the advanced options we're going to go with. Basically everything the same except for things that are just a little bit tedious to deal with. So let us begin. And of course we start in character creation before we end up going in deeper. And so this series is going to be a little bit different than my usual playthroughs where I just create a video, upload it after playing for a while, stuff like that. I'm actually going to try to edit the videos down and stuff like that. So here's our guy. Our name is Cirrus right now. We can change the name and everything. I think there's a couple other characters we're going to have, at least 2 maybe. But as you can see, we have Cirrus, we have Suze. We can change our race, all that good jazz, but we're going to have to be human, at least with our main character, in order to become part of the Holy Nation. If we're not, well, they're going to be upset. But like I said, the plan for this is we are going to be editing them down. The first episode we might not edit down a lot, but I'm going to basically just be providing commentary over the video as it goes by, not as I'm playing the game. So you might see me flailing around up here in the upper right, which, hi guys, I'm in the upper right corner of the screen now rather than the bottom right, because the bottom right has important information as we do things. Upper right, not so much. But yeah, so you might see me flapping around up here and flapping my jaw, but not matching up to things that are being said because I'm going to be recording a kind of play-by-play of what's happening and explaining things as we go through later on. So once we actually do start getting into the game, my live commentary that I'm doing right now will change, and we'll be going to more of a, hey, this is me talking over things. Right? So anyway, moving on to this. So let's go ahead and be a Greenlander. We gotta be male, because if we're not male, they'll enslave us, because that's how the Holy Nation works. So a lot of things you can do with Kenshi, like making them bend down when they're idle or stand up really tall. None of this matters too much. There's different idle stances here. You can just go with the default one. Make them really skinny, really chunky. Matter. Posture. You can have bad posture or decent posture. All that kind of stuff. Now, I'm not too much into like caring about how much they look or anything like that, right? Let's just randomly click some hairstyles through here. This is his hairstyle, beard. That's going to be his beard there. And color will do that, that, and that. There we go. This is going to be our guy. All right. We're going to keep him named Cirrus, I think. Our next character, Sue. We're going to have them be female. And let's go ahead and find them a hairstyle here. That one. That'll be their hairstyle. That'll be the color, saturation, brightness. Somehow managed to get the same exact thing. Okay. Face, don't really care about. We're not going to be looking at them too closely. Posture, we'll have them bend a little bit more like that. Alright. So, let's go ahead and confirm this. So once I hit confirm, we're going to be going from talking live to other stuff. So until then, bye-bye. Right, hello everyone, welcome. It's commentator Plagen here. So we just started out. As you can see, we have our two guys here. We are in Rebirth, the basically quarry pit slave pen area of Okrin's whole area where the Holy Nation does stuff. And as they say, since we're currently an escaped slave, you can see in the upper left of our little HUD here, it says we're an escaped slave. If we don't get into a cage quickly, we will get attacked and we'll put into a cage anyway. So we're going to go ahead and hurry into a cage, basically, and see how that goes. And the cool thing about Kenshi is you can like speed up time, pause it, do whatever you need to. So it's kind of like a nice blend of real-time strategy in that way. You can kind of do that. And so one of the main things that you want to do, or at least I've found to do in the prisoner start, is to get into cages and then just start lockpicking your cage so that you can get your lockpicking skill up, because that'll come in handy a lot to do a lot of different things, right? And as you can see, we don't have anything in the way of gear or armor. We have basically just slave clothes and some shackles on. And this guy's giving us a whole spiel about how Okrin is great and we're here to serve Okrin with our body until we die, and all that nonsense of, you know, the typical religious crazy person thing, right? And he's just gonna kind of do this. Now, it has been a little bit, and these are the stats here. So as you can see, everything is like 0 except for lock picking, which is increased a little bit here from trying to pick the lock. So we can also undo shackles, which are currently binding our legs here. So I'll have both of them do that real quick. Speed some time up, and it looks like my guy already finished. So we're gonna go ahead and see what we're doing. So I'm not too sure here that I remember what exactly is happening. I feel like the guards are supposed to let me out at some point so that I start doing work. And also here I'm checking the audio volume and stuff like that just to make sure everything looks good. I do know the music is a little bit loud in the initial recording, so I'm going to turn that down in future recordings here. But yeah, right now our guys are just gonna try to level up our stuff here, and they're gonna get, you know, taken out. And Susan's gonna lay on the ground, bleeding. And right here I had them try to get up to do something, and they just died. I do not know what happened. It said I had been butchered, so I think they like executed. So, and that kind of sucks. I was hoping to have them around for at least a while longer, but, well, it's unfortunate, but there's not much we can do at this point. So right now, and like I said, we're not going to edit the first video here because I want to show you guys kind of how the grind of Kenshi goes. So a lot of the times you're going to be knocked out and not able to move. You can see my stomach was what took a lot of damage here, and it's currently at negative 10 durability. And I won't be able to get back up until it's above 0. Or actually, I think it's a little bit higher than that, depending upon your toughness factor. So you'll see when that recovery coma text above my stats there changes into, well, not recovery coma, when I'm like awake or just as injured or something. But really all we can do at this point is speed up time and wait around. Yeah, so this is a lot of what Kenshi is waiting for something to happen, because you can't do anything. So as you can see, it hit 0, and now we're just hungry. We're in bars, so I'm going to have them start picking locks again. Luckily, the guards do not care if you are picking locks. They only care if you escape. So we're just going to try to level up lockpicking a bit here. And actually for the next while, I remain in this cage, in other cages, because I'm thinking that they're going to eventually set me free, and then I can start, like, acting like a slave here. So that's why I'm not really doing much right now. I'm just kind of waiting in the cell, even though it's unlocked. I'm just, you know, kind of chilling here, waiting for all the guards to pass by and, you know, let me out. Because I'm supposed to be, as you can see, there's a job on the right side there that says I'm an obedient slave. But my guy's just not wanting to do anything. So I'm trying to, like, hey, can I, like, assign myself to do something? Or, like, what exactly is happening here? But, yeah, it seems like none of the guards are going to let me out. So, like I was saying, we do a lot of waiting here in Kenshi, which is why I've decided we're probably going to want to edit this videos going forward. But I feel like for the first time, it is important to, you know, show how the game is actually played. That way you're not, you know, if you've never played before and you're thinking about getting it, you get thrown in and you're like, wow, this is a really slow-paced, grindy game. And that's part of it. It's part of it's being slow. And stuff like that. There are mods and stuff you can download that give you like an OP character at the start and stuff like that. But the main point of Kenshi is everything sucks, you suck, and you're going to get the crap beaten out of you a lot. You're going to have a bad time. And as you can see, we can take the shackles on and off because they're unlocked. I was actually trying to see if I could lock them again so that I could like keep picklocking them. But like I said, it's been a minute since I played Kenshi before. So at this point, I'm getting a little bit tedious. I'm looking at the map. As you can see, we're in Rebirth. I'm kind of planning my escape route where we're going to go. Probably up that side where I kind of looped around there earlier. But yeah, down here there's Okran's Pride, which is like the only green, lush area in the entire game. Everything else is just dirt, sand, and nastiness. And that's why the Holy Empire has conquered that area. Because they're assholes. Yep. So I'm still waiting a little bit longer here, trying to see if they'll do anything. And at this point, I'm showing off the feature up here where it shows that I'm identified as a slave. I have a bounty, says it will expire, and I'm a slave belonging to the Holy Nation, and that I will work until death and then nothing more, and all that kind of stuff. That'll change as we play the game to ex-slave or escaped slave, or it'll just go away entirely. But as you can see, it's getting dark out, and I am wanting to do something, so I put myself into sneak, and we are going to start doing a fun little thing called grinding picklocking. Or lockpicking, I should say, not picklocking. But once you get out of a cage, after you pick the lock and free yourself from it, you're able to get back into the cage, at which point you lock yourself in it for some reason. Which means I can then pick the lock again. And as you can see, it changed to escape slave over here because we freed ourselves, basically. So, yeah. Anyway, for the next couple of minutes here, we're going to be picking the locks, trying to level up our lock picking. And as you can see, we're on the fastest fast forwarding speed, which is why a lot of people are running around and why the lockpick bar is going by so fast. But at this point, I'm trying to look around and kind of see where exactly I want to go from here. You can see over in the distance right here where we're over in the upper right where I'm covering with my guy, you can kind of see some slaves standing up there. They aren't standing around. They're actually chained to these like pillars just out in the open as a form of punishment by the guards here. But I had to keep plucking away and going from there. So you can see all these little square huts around, and I'm trying to like look for routes out of here and stuff like that while we're messing around picking locks. But the square huts, those are all slaver huts. They have a bunch of cages in them where the slaves will go at night when they're not working, and the guards will also sometimes sleep in some of them. There's also a slave trader in there that you can talk to buy and sell slaves. I don't know if you can actually do that in Rebirth, though. But as you can see, we managed to pick the lock, got out, got back in, just so we could pick it again. Also, I think the Holy Nation shaved my head. Yeah. Well, the one good thing about Sue dying so quick is that we no longer have to do this with two characters. We can just kind of focus on one. Because if we did have Sue, I'd be doing the same exact thing with them as well, and that would just take extra time. So now that we picked the lock, we're getting out and back in again, as you can see. Like I said, we're going to be doing this for a couple of times. And as you can see, morning's come up. The slaves and the guards are starting to run around and doing their work. The guards guarding and making sure the slaves don't escape. And then me locking, unlocking, and locking, and locking and unlocking again. All that good jazz. Yeah, this will not be all that happens this episode. Trust me. In a little bit longer, we see he kind of saw that we escaped and came to pick us up. So he's taking us up to this jail cell, which unfortunately has a 90% chance of us unlocking it, which isn't good because that means we're not going to level up lock picking as much. But the cool thing is, you can actually pick the locks on adjacent cages, which means I can pick this one next to me's lock. And I don't know why I got out when I did that, but I can now get into this one. I can unlock my cell, and this is where the prisoner run really starts to kick off here. So I can start unlocking the cell next to me. And when I do that, I can then unlock their shackles. And at this point, I'm not even thinking about escaping. I do not want to escape. I'm wanting to level up my lock picking. And that's what I'm wanting to do here. So I'm trying to see if I can pick the guy up and put him back in the cage, but as you can see, there we go. I can put him back in, and now he should be locked in there again. So I get back in, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick his lock. Yep. And so we're gonna speed up time here, I think. I don't know what I'm doing over there on my end, but anyway. We will continue to pick the lock, then we have to pick my lock and whatnot, and we will in just a moment, I believe, start making some different progress. So we're going to start sneaking here, because there is a guard below us inside this building, and I might go down here. Right now I'm looking for food and other stuff that I can use to eat. And so I can see that there's a green fruit in that corner up there in the upper right, and there's the guard who's manning the slave trader counter. But there's not a whole lot that I can steal yet. So right now I'm trying to level up my stealth, because if I can level up my stealth, that means I can be a little more hidden from the guards who are trying to find me. But I'm like, you know what, let me go ahead and just unlock these guys too while we're at it. Might as well see what we can do, right? And you'll notice that as I'm unlocking these guys' cells and stuff, if I ever hover over them with the cursor, they turn green. Well, not right now because I'm crouched. I have a choice to knock them out. But if I were standing, I would be able to hover over them. The cursor would turn green, showing they're kind of like allies and not enemies. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and try and get some food, see what we can do here, and see exactly where we can go to level up our sneaking. And so I get down to here, and I'm like, 100% the guard's going to see me, right? Like, no way he's not. But he doesn't. I do not know how he did not see me here. Usually they are pretty good about seeing you, but I did notice there's a dried fish here, and so I am going to pick it up. And I forgot that you have to hold Alt down to steal stuff that's on there. So I got dried fish and ate it right away. And now I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna skedaddle on out of here, move to the next one, see if maybe there's a guard in here, maybe I can get some more food, because I don't believe they feed the slaves. I believe they will literally die of starvation. But I'm looking here, and it looks like the guard is actually looking diagonally. towards the stairs there, and there's nothing else I can grab from this end. So unfortunately, I'm just going to kind of walk away. But then I noticed the other slaves are following me, and they did not get caught by the guard who was standing there. So at this point, I'm thinking, what if we make a run for it? And that is what we are going to do. So we're going to make our way over to this direction, right? Just me and these 3 slaves that we have here. And unfortunately, I can't control them. I can only control my character at the moment. And he seems to want to be going around the rock where the guard was at. So I try to tell him, hey, no, go this direction. And we'll see what we can do here. But there we go. The guard is onto us. So I turn off sneak, and we just start bolting. I do not care what happens to the guys behind me. Luckily, the guard goes after one of them. But I just skedaddle. I don't know where the rest of the guards are at. And then I see them all swarming behind me. Did you see that huge swarm there? So we had 3 guys following us. Now, if you look near by me, you can see one of them moving right there behind me. And so we've gotten far enough away that I'm trying to sneak now to make sure that they don't get back onto us. And I'm kind of contemplating where we go from here. And that guard kind of lost sight of us, so he's going to walk back down there to deal with the rest. But we still got this one prisoner with us. Those green dots on the map that you just saw for a brief moment were the other escaped slaves that I had liberated and are getting beat up by the other guys, basically. Now, I'm going to try to go up this way, which means I'm going to have to cross this wooden bridge and go up these mountains, because I believe through that pass is an exit. And so I'm going to go ahead and go this way, and luckily the guy keeps following me, which is very nice. And while I'm moving, I'm renaming my squadron here to Freedom, because we are now on the path to freedom. And so as we go, I'm still sneaking, and luckily there's still enemies close enough proximity that my sneak level will continue to rise. And every level of sneak means you are harder to see from your enemies. Of course, if they're too high level, they'll still see you regardless. And also, if you're out in the open in bright lights, they're still going to see you. Which is why it's good to move under cover of darkness, which we'll get to here in a moment. But as you can see, this was a dead end. There is nothing up here. We cannot get down. I'm searching for like any nook and cranny to like sneak through here that I can go, but nothing. There's no way to path any direction there. So unfortunately, we have to go back this way. And sometimes the camera can be wonky, but never mind that. So I'm trying to see if there's any other way we can go that does not involve going past guards. Because as you saw, when we were a total of 4 people, 2 of them got taken out, and it's just me and this other guy right now. So unfortunately, we don't really have that many options on us right now. So I'm trying to be sneaky, to be stealthy, trying to see if there's any other way off this stupid, what is it, a caldera? It's like a basin thing. The whole area here is shaped like a bowl with high walls around it, and it looks like the only way out from this side is this gate. So I'm scanning this wall here to make sure they don't have anyone on those crossbows, which they do not. Looking at these guys to see if they have any way for me to knock them out. That fist that appears when I am near them or hovering over them is the knockout button. It means I have a chance to knock them out. Unfortunately, it's all 0%, which means I have no way in hell of doing that. And I'm comparing right now the run speed over on the left there, mine to the guards. I realize I have the shackles on still, so I get rid of those to help me run a little bit faster. But yeah, I'm still only going to max out at 16 miles per hour at this moment, full sprint, whereas the guards are like at 18, 19, something like that. I also noticed that we had another friend. One of the other 2 must have escaped and managed to make it up to us. So that's perfect. So right now, I'm just kind of waiting for night. And the main reason I'm waiting for night is because I'm harder to see at night, right? And so I'm trying to level up sneak right here while passing the time. But unfortunately, even though I'm opening up my menu here to look, we're not close enough to any enemies for the sneak to level up. So I'm looking here, it's at 49% to the next level, and I'm trying to move around, see if it levels up or goes up any further. So you'll see me open up the menu again here, check, and nope. So I'm like, okay, we'll just move up a little bit closer into the shade of the mountain here, where we can hopefully get a little bit closer. And so I will slow down time a little bit to make sure I have good reaction here, and also so I can scout out, make sure no one got on the roof there. Now we're just going to keep moving around. I'm going to check, yep, percentage went up by 1, so we're going to just run around in a circle. And this is sometimes what you got to do in Kenshi, is just run around in a circle to level stuff up, whether it's athletics, strength, or sneak. Sometimes you just got to level it up. And you'll actually get more experience for the more people who are nearby you when you're doing this. So since there's like 6 people there that are enemies, I'll be getting a lot more experience than if there was just one guy who I was sneaking around, right? So I'm just kind of messing around. I'm waiting for it to get to around, I think, 22 for the time. You can see the time in the bottom right there where it shows day, and then the time's kind of ticking up steadily. But I'm just sort of waiting for it to be night. You can also tell by the icon on the right of my character's name. You can see the sun, and when it gets darker, that'll kind of go to like a darker sun, essentially. You'll see it. You'll see it. But I'm still just messing around, because at this point, it's complete 100% we're going to get seen when we go past them. But I'm hoping that if I level up my sneak a little bit and it becomes dark, we might, just might, be able to sneak past them without dying. Even if my other 2 guys might not be able to do so. But that was kind of the plan, to use these guys as bait to begin with. So we've already lost 1, it looks like, at this point. But the other 2 guys here, they can prove as bait for this guard post here. And hopefully deal with that. So I'm looking to see if these do anything to like negatively impact my ability to sneak, but they don't appear to do so. So I'm not worried too much about the clothing right now. So we're just gonna get a little more sneak here. I'm waiting to see if the sun icon gets darker, but it does not, I don't believe. So at this point, I dedicate that we're gonna go out, and we're just gonna go, and they see us right there. So we managed to sneak a good amount past them. The other guys are like right next to them, but it does take the guards a moment to react. And so right now I'm trying to path down to like the furthest area so I can click and run, and we can concentrate on my guy. And as you can see, we take a couple of hits from the guard, but then they get distracted by the other prisoners, and we manage to get away here. So we are going to continue clicking down this path and running away. It looks like we lost one of our guys, but Wall, one of our prisoner friends, he decided to join us since we managed to escape with him. And as you can see, Zan, the other prisoner who was right behind us, also escaped. So all 3 of us who were here managed to get out somehow. I don't know how Wall managed to get away when he was literally the closest to them, but we just ran for it. So right now I'm inspecting them to see if they got hurt or anything. I got an injury to my leg, Wall got a little bit of damage, and, well, we're all starving. So I look at the map and see there's a lone shack up here, and so I decide to tell them all to go over to this direction. And that is where we will begin our journey to freedom, is at this lone shack. And so I do have a mod that there's an execute item in every NPC's inventory that if you remove it while they are down, they will die. So if they're like on the ground after you've beaten them up, you can remove it and it'll kill them instantly rather than them still like clinging to life, essentially. And so we're going to continue down this path towards the lone area with myself, Wall, and Zan. We might have lost Sue, whatever the heck their name was, the original person we had with us, but we gained 2 more allies that we can use for now. We might not use them the entire time, however. After all, our main guy is mostly concerned with his own survival. So we've come upon the lone shack, and I'm right now scouting to see who is here. I don't see anyone around or outside. So we approach cautiously and open the door. I'm prepared to run away when necessary, and I pause because I see a person in here. So they appear to be saying, don't take another step, so I stop. And I'm waiting for them to say something else, but they don't appear to be doing so, so I go ahead and just talk to them. Now, they're going to talk about some things here, and I'm going to go through various dialogue here, choosing different options. Now, if I would have been smart and read their name, I probably could have taken this in a different direction than I did. However, unfortunately, I did not do that. And the options I'm going to choose here make it seem like I am a member of the Holy Empire, and which sucks because I believe the Flotsam Ninja are actually anti-slavers. So if I would have said that I do not like Okrin, then if I would have said never right here, I'm pretty sure I would have been like allied with them here. However, since I swore to them, instead of them embracing me and saying I can stay here, they just said that they'd be watching me, essentially. And well, this is where the first episode is going to end. We managed to get away, and everything is looking up for us now. We are no longer slaves, but civilians. And so I'll see you all in the next episode where we start editing things. Bye-bye.